Hello, hello. Are you ready? Of course you're ready. I can't hear you. Hold on. It might be me.
I was muted. I don't have a marketplace.
There you are. Yeah,
I don't have a marketplace, millionaire marketplace. I have happy hour and Monday Mojo.
Oh, I'll get you one by next week. It's fine.
Okay.
You look beautiful just the way you are.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm going to let everyone else in.
All righty, I'll be right here.
All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Woo! Here they come. Here they come. Here everyone comes. Yay. Yes. Let's get everyone in here and everyone heating up that chat while we're waiting on others. Trisha is ready to bring us a great speaking tonight on her famous topics. And I can't wait to hear her talk. But right now we're going to heat up the chat with our appointment links, our phone numbers, our email addresses, our website links. And are you ready? What is your best thing that happened to you today? What is the very best thing that happened to you today? Did you eat an extra chocolate? Did you pick up a new client? Did you talk to at least one person today about your business? Let's heat up that chat.
Oh, come on. Sorry, I'm multitasking. I have something that doesn't have an active link.
Oh, yay. That's just, I love it when that happens. You know, you post something and all the links work. And then all of a sudden, the links choose not to work. And you have no idea usually until someone else tells you. Your link don't work.
Right.
Makes you feel like a dork, but you know it worked when you put it online. Awesome, Nathan. Broke 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. That is awesome. Awesome, awesome. What is the best thing that happened with you today, Grace? Was it setting up your Google Calendar? Grace and I talked about setting up her Google Calendar earlier today.
Yes, and I was so excited about it. I've got it all done. I believe I've got it all done. I can think about it tonight and
awesome,
see
awesome.
If it needs any revisions.
Yeah. Oh, Kathy, no heart attack when the sirens go off. No way. Sorry about the dogs barking in the background. We're getting ready to get hit by a big storm. I just hope that my internet holds out for all of us. If I disappear and we all get cut off, I am so sorry. But you know what? You can never depend on Mother Nature of what she has up her sleeves for us. So Odia made a reel for my music page and made it an ad to get more followers. Awesomeness in the local area and prep for my first festival. Yes, I know Odia and I have talked several times on, the holiday season should be really good for Odia because she is a singer. So hopefully she can get some some things booked for her singing and her readings throughout the holiday seasons.
I didn't tell you this, LaDonna, but I actually, because of the last event that I did singing wise, this is because I was looking for different events and I got booked for this one. Esther wants to invest in my music career and book things and sign me to his record label. So I'm doing that in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Not wild.
You know what? You just never know who you're going to run into.
Listen, I went to this event and I just prepared for it. I went in and like celebrities were there and all these things. I'm like, what event did I just walk into? It was wild. It was wild. I'm very thankful.
Yes, very thankful. Very thankful. Yes, I love it. I love it when things like that happen. I always tell people, even though, and I will tell you, I get so tired by the end of the day sometimes because I start meetings early, and some days I barely have time to eat. I'm trying to structure it differently, but sometimes it's hard to get everything in that I want to get in and still take some time off. I'm so tired, but what if I rescheduled an appointment that was going to make me my first $1 million? You just don't know, right? What if? Just what if? What if? And so I just try not to do that. Sometimes I do splurge. Set my dates for my next events and training. Jocelyn and I talked about that earlier in the week. Very nice. I'm going to say, if you do not have all of your events down for the year, I'm not talking about your appointments because I wish my calendar was that booked for the year, but I'm talking about events like summits that you're going to hold, classes you're going to hold, events you're going to hold. Go ahead and get those all put on your calendar because you probably know if you're going to have them or not, but get them on your calendar so that you can go ahead and schedule things around those times. Because, once you really get into the holiday parties and holiday decorating and the buying and all the hoopla that goes with it, your time gets more limited. So, okay. Yes, book those chats. I tell you, if you haven't talked to someone that you see their smiling faces on the screen, you're missing out. I hope that everyone, I need to go back around. Kathy and I haven't talked for a while. Kathy, you and I need to hook up and conversate again very soon. No anxiety. No anxiety, Trisha. No anxiety. All right.
No, I was referring to what happens when you're saying, like, oh, what if I cancel? What if I do this? Like, what if I cancel that $1 million? Like, that's just some future trip and anxiety inducing mental, real kind of stuff, man.
Yes.
That'll kill you.
Okay, so let's see. Oh yeah, if you do not mind, I'm going to make you a co-host in case we are expecting 3 more people. So in case I miss them, please help me get them in.
Sounds like a
the
plan. I got
chat.
you.
I try to do it by myself for a while. It's just too complicated sometimes.
I left somebody in the waiting room yesterday for 25 minutes.
You just never know what you're going to be doing when someone's in the waiting room.
2
And you
people
don't
came
wanna
in at the
miss
same
them.
time, and I only let one in. I don't know.
Yes, there you go.
That
All
was
right,
good.
so we are going to go ahead and get started because we were all on time. It's their loss when they're not on time. So if we have 500 or only 5, we continue on with the show just like we have 500. So we are going to start out by giving us a 1 minute or less introduction about yourself and your business. And Grace, we are going to start with you tonight.
I don't know what you want me to say. Like, I'm married and have 30 somethings living at home and all that kind of stuff. And
It's about you and your business. So you get to talk about the next minute about you and your business.
Yes. And, we've been talking about the healing oils of the Bible, and then there's other oils as well that we have. And today I have the tangerine oil. If you can see it, I don't know.
Hold it in front of you. Hold it in front of you. Right in front of you. Like that. See?
like
Perfect.
that.
Yes,
Yeah,
perfect.
the tangerine oil. And as you know, tangerines have vitamin C in them. So I put a drop in my red tea. And which is actually a gold color. So,
And I thought it was a glass of wine, Grace. I thought it was a
and
glass
you
of
thought
wine.
it was a glass of white wine. It's
So does
actually,
it taste like tangerine when you put that in there?
it does.
Awesome. I'm so
It does. And it even has the citrusy, tanginess to it as well. It tastes really good. And then because I have the Young Living tangerine oil in the Organo Gold red tea. And so that just gives me a lot more antiviral properties, and it strengthens your lungs, the tea does, and then the tangerine oil gives you the vitamin C, and it tastes really good, and it's just like
awesome.
great
Awesome, Grace.
combination.
Awesome. Awesome. And next, we are going to go to Trisha.
Well, hello, everybody. Wow, what about my business today? I don't know. We got all kinds of amazing things happening, but I'm an international mental health professional and a master addiction specialist, and that's to say anything from people pleasing codependency to a dependence on heroin, right? Like addiction is a big, broad topic, as is recovery. Recovery needs are very broad and far-reaching and touch us deeply, which is why, and you'll see in my little, I don't know, digital card I dropped in there, I have 5 signature programs that allow me to at least, meet people where they are. And I'm also a teacher, trainer, mentor for credentialing. I also help people launch their own private practice and, oh geez, all kinds of other things. But in the heart of the matter, really my passion, what I really do is I provide people with a level of emotional intelligence they didn't know they didn't have, but desperately need in order to experience living the way that they desire. And I can give that gift to anybody year after year for going on 11 years now. And life satisfaction rate is well over 95% for
Awesome.
people that have come and gone.
Awesome.
And I'm client 0, right?
Yay, Trisha. Yay. All right, let's go to Alia. Oh,
You said
Trisha.
it. Oh yeah, you got it.
Oh, sorry, that's a tongue twister for me.
It's okay. It's like magnolia, my friend said. I was like, that's good.
Yes.
Magnolia.
Yes.
Olia. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, my name, it's technically Olga, so if you want to just call me Olga, that's fine too.
But Olia is so pretty.
I know, I
Yes.
softened it. Yeah, so in Russia, when you're friends with someone, you would soften the name. It's not as hard. So Olia is what I would be called by friends there. So I just made that my name here. Yeah.
Love it.
It's my birth name, but yeah. Anyway, so hello everyone. My name is Olia, and I'm an entrepreneur through and through. So I do a couple of different things, but I have really solidified my path in the last 2 years. And where I am heading is obviously singing and songwriting. That is what I feel my purpose is in, helping people with mental health. It was actually cool to hear you say that. I forgot your name already. Trisha, that's what it is. Because I'm actually a narcissistic abuse advocate. I help people recover in that for life coaching with mediumship. A lot of you guys know that I do mediumship, but it's not just that. I'm not really just connecting people with past loved ones. I'm actually working with a lot of trauma survivors that, a lot of unfortunate things happen to. And we both do action plans to make their life better, as well as if we need to do mediumship or psychic work, I use that into session with it to bring them a lot of peace. And I recently realized that adding financial advising to that actually is very helpful, because a lot of survivors have no idea what they're doing when it comes to money. I know I was one of those people. So as I'm building my music career, I am a financial advisor, psychic medium, and I'm really happy with it. I'm excited to keep going, and I'm very blessed by the manifestations that have been coming true for me thus far in the last couple months. Thank you, LaDonna, for bringing me into this lovely group to meet such amazing people.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And we are going to go to Kathy next.
All right, Kathy Kalesha. So primarily I work with business leaders who want to shift the vision of their managers to more of a leadership lens, transitioning their managers from just managing to being bosses that people want to work for. Some other things I do, I am a contract trainer, so I teach other people's content. And because of that, I'm just going to say that I'm a self-proclaimed ninja at getting engagement in the virtual environment. I'm an expert user of Mentimeter. They don't say that I'm that. I say that I'm that because I teach classes 3 to 4 days a week. So I did it pre-pandemic in person. I've been doing virtual since the beginning of the pandemic. So for other entrepreneurs and speakers, I'm an expert at that virtual environment and getting engagement and leveraging tools. And I call myself also an idea maker. But for my business clients, I'm a coach and an expert in communications and relationship building, helping them transition from being just a manager to being a leader. And I can help, higher level leaders help their leaders grow, because sometimes that's the hardest thing to do when you're a high level leader, to find the time to develop your younger, newer managers so that they can also be leaders.
That's awesome, Kathy. That's awesome. And then we're going to go ahead and go to Nathan.
Gotta unmute myself. That would help.
Mm.
Just gonna grab one thing before. So my thing is I show people how to get over a narcissistic ex in 21 days or less. My goal is to take people from survivor to thriver to becoming the best version of you. Regarding the way of getting people over a narcissistic ex, I have access to some specialized knowledge to do with relationship recovery. It's something I used on myself many years ago when I went through a breakup. And using this resource, I recovered from a very painful breakup in only 18 days. So it's extremely valuable knowledge. The second thing is I wrote a book called Life After Bullying. And any of you discover how to deal with adult bullies, how to protect yourself online, and how to set boundaries that stick. And I've got some scripts. So that's about it.
Awesome. Awesome, Nathan. Thank you. And Jocelyn, come on down.
Hi. I'm Jocelyn, and I'm a personal development coach and energy healer. So I guide and empower women in breaking free from anxiety and people-pleasing tendencies, helping them live life free from that constant worry and regain control over their thoughts and emotions and develop resilience to effectively respond to those life challenges that kind of just come up for all of us. So I'm certified as a NLP coach, timeline therapist, and hypnotherapist, and I'm a recent Karuna Reiki master. So I incorporate that all into a 12-week program, which help guide my clients.
Awesome. Thank you, Jocelyn. Thank you. And as you know, I am LaDonna McAbee. I am your networking queen. I can help you figure out who you need to connect with, network with, and collaborate with that fits you and your business, the right people. If you're not a house builder, then you do not need to connect with a bricklayer. Per se, just a fine example. So you don't need to be out there connecting with everyone unless you can truly help everyone or advise everyone. So with that said, we are going to give Trisha the next 25-ish or so minutes, and then we'll break out to question and answers. So, Trisha, let's go. Bring us the good stuff.
Well, hello, everybody. So, look, we're going to talk today about ending the pressure of overwhelm. Does anybody here ever experience overwhelm? Nod, nod. Nathan, maybe not.
Come on,
Anyway.
Nathan.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but
right?
more than anything else, I just pacing is the right word.
Yes. Well, okay, so Nathan, you and I are probably on that equal playing field of somebody that had to work their way to get there, right? Like where we don't experience overwhelm. And I although I don't know, LaDonna might say that I still actually experience overwhelm on occasion because like LaDonna will say, like, we're not all, masters of everything. And so, in trying to learn tech things, like, I don't know if I call it overwhelm, but like I vented at her the other day, and as soon as I got done venting, I went back to what I was doing, and it, I don't know, figured itself out. But which was cool. I was like, I got it. Thanks for the vent. But so ending the pressure of overwhelm is more than just that, right? Like it's more than just getting frustrated for a second and having to walk away and having that, the wherewithal to do that. I'm talking about a different kind of overwhelm. And that's an overwhelm that online professionals, or as online professionals, we experience, right? Because there's all that information out there. There's all the everybody that's doing whatever, and then there's our perception of whatever it is that they're doing, right? So if I was to ask you, how much of your overwhelm comes from, we'll call it an invisible measuring stick? No? Anybody measuring themselves to anything when they get overwhelmed? Olia knows what I'm talking about. Jocelyn's saying yes, right? So it's important to look at where or who you're measuring against. What are you measuring against? Like, what is that thing? And I know that I've been online since well before the pandemic, always seeking, like, how can I have like this online presence where it's like, just, like people are clicking they're finding me without me having to do any work, right? Like that's always been like, the wonderful aspiration, like to be like, to have a website, to have a Google page and some social media presence and just have people coming without me having to do a lot of work. So my measurement was based on, what's going wrong with what content I'm putting out there. And then, and so that was a chase and, things like that. But then the pandemic came and here we were, like instantly networking with people all over the world, and people that were really good at putting out perceptions of themselves, whether it was true or fiction, right? Fact or fiction, whatever that image of themselves they were putting out there. And then you had those people come in that were like, oh, I'm a branding expert. Let me brand you. This is what you got to do. You got to wear this. You got to take this picture. It's got to be, photo shoot quality. And, oh, we need pictures of you with clients. And I'm like, dude, I'm in mental health. Like, you're not getting pictures of me with my clients. Well, get a sit in. And I'm like, oh, anyway, all this stuff, right? So my measuring stick is how honest am I being out there, right? Like the honest to God truth is I'm not putting my stuff out there because it's people's personal stuff, right? Like, anyway, so what are we measuring ourselves against? Are we looking at, somebody that's doing something similar to us or something completely different than us, but has that perception because, oh my gosh, they have 50,000 followers, they must be raking in the dough. Super not true, but right, like what's that measuring stick? So, because if we're measuring, right, that's going to start to create that pressure building. And then we want to know, where did we get our measuring stick from? Like, where did it come from? And so I know I got my measuring stick from a negative place, or way back here where I was told as a child growing up, nobody wants to hear what you have to say. Right? Go someplace else and be quiet. Shoo, shoo, let me dismiss you. You are disposable. Go away. So my measuring stick, when things weren't coming in, oh, let me just pull that old measuring stick in, right? That I worked hard to get rid of. And when I noticed it creeping back in, well, let me tell you, I did a whole bunch of things to make it go back away. But why did I adopt that measuring stick in that time and space, right? Like, why did I go back to something old? And it had to do with who the measuring stick was. It wasn't me. It was some perceived perception out there. And then I pulled that back in. So I had to dive back in and say, how would I prefer for this to look, feel, be for me? So let me ask you, and I'm going to ask Jocelyn. Jocelyn, what is something that gives you overwhelm? You're sitting right underneath me on my
That's
screen.
okay. That's okay.
I'm just gonna
Something that gives me overwhelm. I would have to say that it's sometimes with the kids, right? I have three children, and they each have their own special abilities, so to say, and it can be challenging with my young lad, advocating for him, and I can feel that frustration when he's not heard, and then I'm not heard. It spills over, right? So that can be in a sense of overwhelmed because I don't have control over certain situations.
Okay.
Yep.
We're coming back to that. Kathy, where do you experience overwhelm, and what does that look like for you?
I'd say, I don't honestly, I'm pretty resilient and Teflon-ish. I would say my overwhelm is because I do sit in front of a webcam for 7 hours. So, a lot of times my overwhelm is more like, like it happens like at night, like, I'm sitting here and I have a Toastmasters meeting tonight. So it's like, I just get to that point where I hit a wall. And then because I'm spending so much time online, finding time to actually do work because other work, right? That I need and want to get done for my business because I'm here a lot of the time.
Yeah. So we'll clarify that, right? Overwhelm doesn't always equate to a meltdown. It
Right.
doesn't always equate to, event session. It oftentimes just equates to those mental reels and loops that go on in our head that say, I got to remember to do this. I have to take care of that, et cetera, et cetera.
Or ice cream.
Just that unrest.
Ice cream, right? Yeah, LaDonna liked that one. Or it's ice cream.
Agree.
Oh, well, okay. So we'll talk about that one in a second also, right? Because these things all, interestingly enough, tie together. So we've got ice cream, we've got overbooking, right? We'll just call it that, right? Like a full calendar. We'll have business professional with children at home still with special needs, right? Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
What
actually,
does your overwhelm look like?
I was just thinking about that, and this is something I didn't even realize till just now, because I was about to say, oh, it's making money, but no, it's not. It's actually the balance between making enough money and not being a pushy salesperson with my business, because I care about people.
See?
That's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. 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 And we can just put a pin in that. That was golden ticket. And I had a conversation with a friend / colleague over the last
Yeah,
2
it's
days.
like, do I eat or do I push my, like, what's the choice?
Right, but how do I stay in what I love? But how do I stay in what I love? And we're going to get to that. LaDonna, what does yours look like?
Husband.
Oh, okay. There's something, and you guys are just, right? Like, so husband. Grace, what does your overwhelm look like?
Well, when I am told to go to all these leadership meetings and everything, and this guy's making millions and millions and millions of dollars, and you can do it too, and then and this is how you do it. You do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And then the guy says, well, I only sleep 4 hours a night. And I'm like, what? I sleep like 8 to 9 hours a night, and if I don't, I'm either grumpy or I get sick with a really bad cold. So I mean, it's just like that's overwhelming for me.
Right. So now we're bringing in how, like somebody else's method, modality, practice, whatever you want to call it, and seeing that, right, and going, how do I replicate that? Instead of looking at that and saying, how do I add, edit, delete, change, like instead of trying to put your life into somebody else's method, we want to look at that and say, how can I take that method and incorporate it into my life to serve me, right? Add, edit, delete, change, shift, morph. Nathan, what does your overwhelm look like, although you don't necessarily experience it? You're muted.
It's just something that came in a few minutes as we were talking. It's not overwhelm. It's extreme. Like right now, I am extremely freaking angry. I have tried repeatedly to get funding for my business so I can grow. I keep being disqualified because, excuse my French, I'm a fucking Canadian citizen, and I feel like I'm cursed from where I came from, and I am really damned angry. I have been doing everything I can to advance myself, and every door slams and shut in front of me. And right now I am super pissed, like extremely pissed, going through every resource I've got, doing my damnedest to move forward, and I can't.
I'll think on that. And if I come up with them, because I have some connections, I'll share it over with LaDonna so she can get it to you.
Sorry about that, but it's just,
no, it's actually a form of overwhelm.
What's that?
It's actually a form of overwhelm, right? Like that deep-seated frustration. And I'm going to tell you why everything that you guys said, especially Kathy's ice cream and LaDonna's ice cream, right? It's all an external locus of control. Okay. It means we have given up our power. We've given it away to something outside of us, right? So Kathy, like that ice cream, we've given it an emotional purpose to bring us peace, joy, comfort, relief, right? It's an external locus of control instead of that ability to self-soothe effectively internally. So, and Jocelyn, I feel for you, right? I had 5 children in the house at the same time. And at one point I had 4 different schools to go to and do drop off and pick up. And at one point I had 4 different schools and the hospital because my oldest daughter had AML. And so we were living in the hospital and this and that. And my husband was running the international business and was generally gone 12-day stretches. So I hear you, I feel you, right? Like, but when we get irritated, agitated, annoyed, frustrated, bothered by something outside of us, we're giving away our power to experience living the way that we desire. We are also giving up our ability to see ourselves experiencing living the way we desire, as well as our ability to experience our environments the way we want to, and to allow our environments, people, places, things, to see us, feel us, experience us in the manner in which we want to show up. So even when we are super annoyed or frazzled or we feel unheard, there is a very insightful, intuitive, poised, polished, calm, composed way to show up if we have, right, that level of emotional intelligence. But we have to understand, when is it an external locus of control? Kathy's completely in charge of her calendar, right? Like I'm completely in charge of mine. Kathy, I had to work for years on perfecting being one mindful, meaning my calendar can be slam packed from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and it doesn't overwhelm me anymore because it doesn't matter. It only matters that I'm in the whatever this slot is. Half the time I don't know what client I'm seeing next, or even for that entire day. I just know what my time slots are, and I just click to the next. I have 60 seconds in between each thing because I stack, right? And I do a process that I call my core non-physical feeling check-in, where I also utilize the shelving system, right? So what we really want to understand is, how do I know where I'm operating at all times? Right? Like, how do I know when I'm in an emotionally reactive space? How do I know when I'm being overly logical and rational? How do I know when I'm just sitting in mental reels and loops, having premonitions, doing rehearsals, etc.? Right? Like when you lay your head down at night to go to sleep and you're like, right? How do we end that? How do we end? You don't know. I do. I do, right? But it's a process and it takes training, right? So without, bringing in neuroscience or anything like that, right? Like, we look at this and we talk about that external locus of control. We're all born in the external position. And I'm going to keep this real simple. We're all born in the external position. We have to cry to get anything that we need. We cry for a bottle. We cry because our diaper's wet. We cry, whatever, right? Like, burnt external, because we're reliant on something outside of us, somebody outside of us, to bring us peace, joy, comfort, relief, right? And as we grow, we learn how, we start to shift into an internal drive. Now, as we shift into this internal drive, it's truly our parents' job to guide us, but they don't know what I know, and I know because I didn't know when I was raising my kids, and my mom didn't know, and her mom didn't know. It's really our job, right, to lead by the example, to create somebody's to let them have that autonomy to move into an internal locus of control. Here's where we fail. Fall down, scrape your knee. What do you get? Popsicle. Go to the doctor, get your vaccines. What do you get? Lollipop. It's your birthday. What do? We shower you with gifts and give you a cake. All external rewards. Now what, right? Your parents are telling you, bring home a good report card, yada, yada, yada. And the only thing that they really focus on is when you do something wrong, right? So now we're getting these different things. And we don't have the autonomy to not be good in math, but excel in history. It's not about the effort anymore. It's about the little letter that somebody puts on a piece of paper, external reward. And we go through life this way, where it's everything, like even Jesus's birthday, if that's what you celebrate, right? Like, we get showered with gifts and it's not even our birthday, right? All of these external rewards, but we're supposed to be moving in. Now you add in, well, there's various different types of parenting, and I teach about them in my adolescent course, but there's like 5 different ones, lawnmower, anyway, but what we helicopter, right? Like, we helicopter parent now, and we hover and we do everything for our kids. And now they're leaving for college. They don't even know how to make their dang bed or do their laundry. If they even leave to go to college, some of them are just staying home. And we're spitting out young adults that are not self-sufficient. Not emotionally, not cognitively, and sure as heck not physically, if you will, right? And to meet their basic needs. They haven't worked a day, they come out and they think they should have the top paying job. Anyway, but this is how we stay in that external locus of control. And some of us have more of an internal drive, but what I find is we kind of hover mid-range, right? We might be a little bit more on that internal drive, highly successful. We're creating our own businesses. We're, looking to build our own worth, but little things pull us back to that external factor, right? So it might be so-and-so in my networking group is kicking ass and making $100,000 a month, and I'm doing the exact same process. Why isn't it working for me? External locus of control. It could be, I don't know, like I'm super, I'm just spent, I'm burnt out, right? Like I'm going to go sit down and drink a bottle of wine, external locus of control. I'm gonna, I'm sad, things didn't go my way. I'm gonna sit down and eat a bucket of Ben and Jerry's, external locus of control. So whereas we really feel like we have an internal drive and we're strong, independent adults and we're building these businesses, we still have that propensity, right? Like Nathan, and don't take this the wrong way, I'm just using you as an example, my dear, right? To blame outside sources for our inability to create what we want. And again, I'm using you as an example. Sure, if we need funding and we can't get it, but I just wanted to use that as an example. So we want to not be reliant on things outside of ourselves to bring us peace, joy, comfort, relief. And I'm going to throw in some more: value, validity, and worthiness. Right? If you rely on LaDonna, your spouse, right, to be your calmer, to give you validity, right, like to validate you, not push your buttons, but to validate you, see all my hard work, acknowledge my worthiness. You're looking for that, honey. That's external, right? Like, and I'm not saying you are. I'm just again using it as an example. But this is what makes us think, right? Like I watched my husband walk past his window and I could see by his body language what's coming inside, right? Like, leave him alone, right? Like, and
you got that right, Trisha.
When I
don't
walk
even
out
have to
my
say
door,
a word.
Yeah, when I walk out my door, I leave all of my everything in here. I'll say, how was your day? It's good, right? Pretty great, standard, normal, like those are the answers we get. Occasionally we chat about, our days, but really it's our time to converge into our personal life. Separate, right? It's separate. And so there's that period, that buffer between where you have to kind of, get it off. But it's not, let me go numb out. Let me go soothe myself with some external reward and let me, wallow for a little bit, right? Because ruminating, wallowing, and languishing in the uncomfortable serves nothing. We really just need to look at it and say, what went well? Why? How can I capitalize on it? What didn't go as well as I'd hoped? Why? What can I bring in? What can I change, shift, morph? And then what didn't work? Why didn't it work? What's the lesson in there? And then all of the stuff that we can't use, that doesn't serve us in a forward moving momentum, goes in the metaphoric trash can, because we can't have the bag. We keep all of our yesterdays, right? Like, I don't know, LaDonna, maybe you know what this is like, right? Like we get mad at our spouse and 3 days later we're bringing it back out and slinging it at them, right? Maybe you don't, right? And that's fine. But I think everybody knows, because they've been in that place, like,
Yes.
Well, you, yes. Right? And maybe it was even a past relationship, a past business experience, and anything. And now we've got this new thing, and we're just gonna, let me attach all my yesterdays here. So we get stuck in this place of, here I am at point A. Point Z is my aspiration. I know what all of the objectives are those steps that I need to hit, which is B through Y, by the way. But I'm still here at A, and I'm in this state of, right? So we're so far into yesterday, still lugging around so we want to be in tomorrow, but we're so, still weighed down from yesterday's that we aren't moving forward. So anyway, so we need to learn how to look at our locus of control and what position that we're operating in order to do that, so that we can change. And comparison is a big no-no. So there are definitely some very specific order in which we learn the psychological skill sets, tools, tactics, methods, and modalities that allow us to not ever have to really sit in that. But, you know, I really wanted to give you guys some, you know, some tools that would help you in your business. And in the ability to, you know, really up revenue streams, if that is something that you are, you know, in need of, and in some very creative and unique ways. So, but before we do that, before I drop in free links and tell you what they're all about, did anybody have any questions, comments, thoughts? Did anything resonate or come up for you? Yes, Miss
So
LaDonna.
I'm going to start off by, you know, these are all things that I think the majority of us probably have heard before in some shape, manner. It's been ran by us, but how do you really is it just practice overcoming some of those dramatic language, frustrations, mannerisms? I mean, I'd really like to know, is it just practicing to always, I mean, I'm a very positive person, but
so
sometimes,
if we go into that, yeah, if we go into that practical, sorry, it just got really hot in here. If we go into that practical, the practical stance, because you're right, you know, as mental health providers, we talk about it, right? But when I'm working with a client, I teach them the actual practical application in their life. But first you have to break things down. You have to understand what you feel, hear, say, and believe, right? Like, what is that internal dialogue? And you have to learn how to shift it, which means you have to be mindful enough to get centered and grounded in any moment. And I don't mean sit down, meditate, you know, all of those kinds of things. I mean, like when I'm driving my car and somebody cuts me off, I've got to have a cognitive way to not lose my cool, right? So that I can, so we need to know how to do that. And part of that is really leaning into loving and embracing all that the art of pause brings, because it's that impulsivity, the knee-jerk reactivity, right? So if we slow things down and we learn to hear, see, feel, believe, right? Like we, you know, when we can hear what's going on in here, we can slow down enough, and we really take the time to abandon that instant gratification world that we live in. We just, you know, something happens, we open our mouth and things come out, right? Like that automatic response. Oh, I gotta, you know, everything has to happen, right? We also read information. We assign the tone and the inflection, right? You assign that. So I could write, I can't believe you did that. And you could hear it, I can't believe you did that. Or you could read it, wow, I can't believe you did that, right? Like, who knows? Like, it's up to you how you transpire the information. So you have to want to choose the way that's going to serve you. And so you have to learn how to formulate responses that serve you in all things you do. And then, you know, again, there's that locus of control, right? We have to leave the external and get internally minded. And so you have, you know, you have to be able to understand what drive you're operating from, and then know how to shift it, which again requires we slow down our pace and stop the instant, you know, instant highway. And then creating a filtrating boundary system. Boundaries for me are not what everybody else uses the word boundary for. Boundaries are by definition movable, bendable, pliable, whatever, right? If they weren't, goats would starve to death. So we create a filtrating boundary system that's 4 parts: internal, external, temporal, which is your emotional, and physical, which includes your environments. Right, so that you can filter things out, because we let things in that isn't even for us. It's not about us, nothing to do with us. And I don't just mean like we take things all personal or whatever. I'm just saying, like, we get we get all incensed about things that are really what we would call new stress or eustress, meaning not at all about you, have nothing to do with you. It's outside your life. It's neutral. It's not impacting you, but we still get all stressed, right? So we learn how to filter those things and back them by healthy limits and limitations. Now, those are your hard, fast stops, the point in which you cannot go beyond. And I teach this to, and if I can teach, you know, a long time alcoholic or drug addict, if I can teach them how to, you know, create a filtrating boundary system and back it with healthy limits and limitations, by golly, I can teach anybody, right? And then we have to know, okay, so really what we have to do is we have to be willing to get effective and do what works for us. But that requires being mindful and willing to really look. Everybody surfaces. I believe me, I work with a lot of people. Generally have, you know, 25 people on in my census at all times. And everybody's surfacey. I have to make them get in there and really look. And most people don't know what true tactics of assertiveness are, right? Tactics of assertiveness is open, honest, genuine, transparent, and authentic in all things you do and say. It's not blunt, straight, direct, and to the point, right? It can be very calm, right? It's about how you handle yourself. Then you have to look at what filter do you use to hear through. And are you filtering correctly, right? Because that's where you're going to find your secret to your resolution. But only if you're willing to learn how to control your moments, truly face being distressed, learn how to engage in effective distractions, right? Because then we can leave the pain behind. We can lead with a new lens. We can, effectively and very eloquently identify and describe our emotions. We can actually visualize ourselves letting them go when they're not serving us. And that's how we learn how to regulate our emotions and reduce our vulnerability. You're muted.
So the world is getting crazier and crazier. So that is, how in the world are we ever going to tame all these people down? And I've just decided I can't tame them all. So I just keep myself as tamed as possible and move far, far away from those other people. But the world is getting crazy. I mean, you hear about all the people that's in the middle of an intersection waving a big knife, and because God knows why. Or, you know, the other day somebody went and killed somebody because of a road rage. Just somebody cut somebody off, so he just plowed into his motorcycle and killed him. I don't understand. I just don't get why we have to be so stressed out in this world and mean, or I don't know. I just don't know.
Well, well, yeah, I mean, and that's just a whole different topic. And one that, you know,
there has to be
again,
something
that
bullying.
falls in those different kinds of stress, right? Like it falls into those different levels of stress.
Yes.
Right. Like you're talking about, you know, it could be 2 states away and somebody, you know, that opened fire last night, right? Burnt active shooting last night at, I think it was 9 o'clock our time, which would be midnight or 11 o'clock. Right. And, you know, sure, you could get, oh my God, what's happening with the world? And, you know, all of these things. And yeah, like that's, you know, that's a thought and it's a feeling, but it's still a new stress, a neutral stress. It's not negatively impacting you in your home, living your life. Doesn't mean we can't be passionate about, you know, like looking into legislation or, you know, how we vote or whatever. Don't get me started on government though in this country, and the way that it's operating these days. Because then I go into my new stress, right? It's neutral stress. The absolute only thing I can do is show up and vote, and that's really all I can do.
Yes, and I try to only listen to the weather.
I have my thoughts, but you know, right? So you have to work on what you allow to penetrate you. Yes, right? It's one thing to be an informed individual. It's another, right, to be, I don't know, part of the hoop-de-doo.
Yes, yes, I
Right?
agree.
So, take
Yes,
the
I
puppy out.
agree 100%. It's like I listen to the weather and I let everything else go because can't change it.
Well,
I know where my
that's
daughters and grandchildren are, not in the
exactly.
middle of the intersection. So I'm okay. I'm
Exactly.
okay. So
Yeah.
who else has a question, comment, concern, resolution? Okay, you did such a great job. Yay.
I never know how to read that, right? Like it's either we just let you ramble for an hour and get off the stage. Or
No, because I think it just gives us in depth what we already know, we've heard before, maybe, probably, but it resurfaces and it lets us know, yeah, we're doing right, or oh, we need to revisit that.
right. And I will be the first to profess to everybody, right? Like the things that I teach are not new, right? These are all methods, skill sets, tools, tactics, modalities, theories that I got when I was getting my psych degree. Where I get the difference is in the way that I coach, right? Like I studied coaching as an effective psychological practice when I was getting my degree, because I like coaching, because I'm not a sit still and let's just talk about your feelings kind of gal. That's not who I am. I'm like, let's, right? Like, and I'm a, survivor of numerous sexual assaults, domestic violence, and emotional neglect and abuse. Anyway, like years and years and years of stories that I could tell you, but I'm like, you know what? That person that did that to me, right, that was their bad act, had nothing to do with me. I was merely the vessel, right? If it hadn't have been me, it would have been somebody else. I'm still standing. Any day I wake up without a chalk line around my body's a great effing day, right? Like, let's keep moving. So it's how I've converted it into a coaching model that allows people to hear it and know how to use it.
Yes.
Right. Like how is it gonna, and then in our sessions, we look at how they can add, edit, delete, change, shift, morph it for different areas of their life. And I teach them to look at things because broad brushing, right, doesn't serve anybody. But so
Perfect.
today, though, I started this out with the overwhelm in us being online business professionals, entrepreneurs, and people building small business in our areas, right? And I started it by saying, I have searched year over year, and I probably spent well over 6 figures on various coaches and this, that, and the other thing with their methods and their modalities, and all because I said I'm not a digital marketer. Boy, was I wrong about the fact that I'm not a digital marketer, right? So here's how I realized that. I was watching on Instagram some digital marketers, right? I'm like, what are they doing and how can I, how can I, and I came across a $7 15-day challenge, and I was, like, oh, I'll just take whatever I can take, yada, 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 whatever. It changed my life. It changed my perspective. It opened my eyes in so many ways. And the people that do this, right, like they're in it to provide people with education, right? They've turned their lives around using it, and they give it away, literally, in my opinion, for $7. And they offer so much in the form of community, but none of that matters. But it's how it is so transferable to any industry that also blew my mind, because being in mental health, nothing translates into my industry. I just, it's hard because addiction, there's things that we can't even say when we're creating an ad. So, but anyway, it was amazing. It was life-changing. So I just wanted to share that link with you all. So if you want to check out the $7 15-day challenge to see, right? Because I've been a digital marketer just being out there talking about my recovery journey, right? So right now I am actively in my recovery communities connecting people to this 15-day challenge that are sitting at home in an early recovery process, stressed about money, so that they can at least start to create something small for themselves that generates money so they can focus, right? But in that same regard, it taught me, or it brought to me, illuminated for me how the affiliate program that I have for my business, for my practice, fell short. In fact, I launched it. I had like 25 people in there. Yeah, I want to be an advocate. Yeah. And I was just letting everybody in. Well, now I've got a bunch of people just sitting on the platform doing nothing, right? Like it totally flatlined. And this has given me the tools to totally revamp that. So I'm also going to drop in for anybody totally passionate about mental health who may or may not come across people that are in an active addiction, that again is not in your scope of practice, is in my scope of practice, but would like to earn some extra cash, right? My lowest program is 2,500 and my highest program is 15,000, and I pay out 25% to my affiliate advocates for connecting, which is healthy. And the cookies last for 365 days, where most affiliate programs, you have to go in and update every 30 days. And if somebody stumbles on your link, right, from something 30 days before, you lose out on that, sale or, credit. But this is a way that you can connect people with, and I'm tooting my own horn, right? Like evidence-based practice that has been getting well over a 95% success rate, especially in the addiction realm. And depending upon that level of severity, but I do take on some higher severities. Really the biggest thing I ask, is people to do is just get me a consultation with them, because we don't know where they want to be. It's my job to assess. But anyway, so I wanted to offer anybody that is interested in connecting people with high quality service. And this isn't I have to commit. This is you just submitting to me like, hey, I'm interested to talk to you about this further. Because on average, you could make, by connecting one person, about $900 a month. So that's a good extra revenue stream. And then there are others. I am connected with a very lucrative science-based supplement. I don't even like to call it supplements, but so there's different areas where I can help you learn about that. So I just wanted to share that, because there are things that I'm doing that are growing my business. And ever since I started doing this, I've been seeing 3 additional consultations on my calendar every week, right? Just from doing this 15-day challenge and making a few little shifts. I don't even have the full system set up yet, but 3 extra people on my calendar every week. And I'm pretty excited about that, because I've been trying to make that happen for years. So I just want to drop those in there and share them with you. If you're interested.
Please do.
And
yes, perfect. And then while she's doing that, we are going to go right on into our marketplace. Like I said, I'm getting ready to get bad weather. Hopefully you do not lose. We do not drop internet. So we'll just go for as long as we can. So with that said, we're going to go right into the marketplace. Give us your favorite pitch and your very best offer. That's what we want to hear from you tonight. So, Jocelyn, let's start with you.
Okay. So just my sales pitch, I guess you could say, my
Yes, your
promotional
sales pitch and whatever offer.
Okay. So, experience healing without the need to relive your trauma. It's not about discussing and just rehashing and reliving it and reinstalling that pain, but acknowledging and finding your path to recovery, right? Your journey to healing begins with recognizing your truth. And that's where the transformation truly unfolds. So I am offering everyone here at an on-time low. I've just recertified, like I said, Karuna Reiki Master. So I am offering everybody here a discounted session. If you're interested in a Reiki session, you can reach out to me and book that one-on-one and just put Reiki in the comments. And it is at a low time discount of $40 for the Reiki session. That is an all-time low discount.
Awesome.
Anybody interested? Yeah, so they put hashtag Reiki in the comments.
Okay, hashtag Reiki.
Okay.
in the
Yeah.
comments and with your email address, please, for only $40. Wow. And how long would this session last?
So you book the 1 hour link
Oh,
on the
okay.
Calendly we get on, and it's basically the entire hour. The session lasts about 30 to 40 minutes, and then I tell you everything that comes through for you.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Okay. And if you would, Jocelyn, go ahead and put in all of your information, the hashtag and your email address. And then we
Thank you.
are going to ask, does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns, anything? Has anyone ever had a session like this done before?
I've had
Awesome.
in-person Reiki, never virtual Reiki.
Nice.
Ah, all right. Awesome. And all right, Olia, you said you have done this before. So what kind of things came out for you, if anything you want to share?
Yeah, sure. So I've had my friend who just got her Reiki master. She did the whole thing as well, and she did it on me. But I also learned how to do it on myself. You release a lot of emotions. So I found a lot of deep-seated things from childhood. You know, I have childhood trauma. We all love it. So a lot of those things came up for me. But I would say it was positive because I was doing it on myself. I was also able to learn how to deal with anger in a very healthy way because I was able to, it wasn't like uncontrollable, if that makes sense, how it came forward. So yeah,
Awesome.
I'd say it was
Awesome.
helpful. Yeah.
Good, good job. All right. And Kathy, come on down.
All right. So, this was a part that I wasn't prepared for because I've not been to one of these yet, but I'll say this. So I think when it comes for this group, what I could be the most help with is if you're doing online presentations, events, webinars, things like that, where you're trying to get people involved and engage them better and more on the virtual environment, because not everybody comes on video, right? Sometimes they're just there in the background. I can help you specifically with how to use Mentimeter, which does require an investment for your online engagements that you're doing. So if you're doing courses, webinars, events, demonstrations, that's what it's going to help you with. Normally, I charge $250 for one session, one-on-one. I would which is a 1 hour session. I would offer you 3 45-minute sessions for that $250, but I'll give you a free half-hour consultation first to schedule time with me just to see if it makes sense for you so I can show you what it is. And then if it does, it would be $250 for 3 45-minute sessions. And I also have a couple online videos that I could just throw in that have some demonstration for that. Don't be freaked out when you click on that link. The link says Be an Engagement Ninja because I was doing a program called Being an Engagement Ninja. So it's just my funny name for being able to be really engaging and taking advantage of these virtual platforms and not taking it personally that people aren't on screen and aren't talking to you, because not everybody operates well in that environment. So
Absolutely. And what would your hashtag, what would you like for it to be?
Oh, what happens? They put it in the comments or something?
Yes.
How
about hashtag ninja?
Hashtag ninja, put it in there. And you can click that calendar link and schedule a half an hour with me.
All right. Oh, perfect. I'm going to put in there hashtag ninja for more information, and I will book a time with you as well.
Yeah.
Because
it would definitely work for what you're doing here. So I'd be happy to show you a little bit about that. Yeah.
Perfect. Always wanting to get more in front of more people, more engagement, never have enough time to get everywhere I want to be.
Yeah.
So all the help possible, please. Yes, perfect. Any questions, comments, concerns about what Kathy offered? I love the ninja thing because I think that gets a lot of attention. So I love it. Olia, come on down.
Hello, everyone, once again. All right, so I have two offers for you today, actually. The first one, it is spoopy season, Halloween. It is one of my favorite times of the year. And obviously, as a psychic medium, I gotta play into that a little bit, right? So, what I actually did, so overall, I'm doing 50% off for the whole month, but for you lovely people, I'm gonna do 60. You. And on top of that, I'm also going to add in 2 sessions. So instead of getting one 1 hour session, you will get 2 for the price of 60% off of one, which I think is a pretty good deal. If you are interested in that, you can go ahead and we can just talk about it and see if it makes sense for you as well. I always like to do a pre-meeting for these because everyone's a little bit different, and I like to answer your questions and see how you feel about it first. The other offer that I have for you is with my financial advising. I don't know if you guys saw that when I was talking about it earlier, but I just got my license in insurance and I want to learn a little. Well, LaDonna knows this. So we're looking at insurance policies and looking at how they are helpful and harmful. I want to look at other people's insurance policies so that I can both learn and also help you guys learn as well, because I'm learning through getting my license that we do not know enough when we're signing these policies, and it's hurting a lot of people later. So if you are interested in just having me look at your policy, it's free, by the way. You don't have to buy anything from me. I genuinely want to help because I'm pissed at what I found out as I was learning this stuff. So if you guys want me to look at it, that would help me learn. My coach would be kind of showing it to me too, and you guys would get to understand it better. Feel free to hashtag. What is my hashtag? What should my hashtag be?
Money.
Money.
Hashtag
Hashtag
money.
money. Hashtag money. Yes. Hashtag
Yes.
money. And you can also just book a coffee time with me. Yeah, we can just also get to know each other too, and you can let me know what you're interested in talking about with the coffee time. So, yeah.
Yes, perfect. And Olia and I and her upline or supervisor, whoever, we have life insurance that we've been paying on for over 33 years. And
Yeah.
yay, we think we're protected, but until the day my husband retires. And then guess what happens to that policy? Gone.
Yep.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
We have a
Because
plan for
that's,
you though, LaDonna.
So I didn't realize that until he started talking about retiring. I'm like, but now something will happen to him the day after he retires. But you know what? I'm glad that I figured it all out and he did, so we can start figuring out what to do next. What is our next step? Because I'm
Yeah.
living to be at least 100.
That's how I feel. No,
At
I'm
least.
I'm excited to meet with you again because we do have
Yes.
a possible solution. So, but
Yay. So
yes.
anyway, it doesn't hurt and it is free and it did not hurt or sting. So yes. Very good. Very good. Trisha, do you have any other offers tonight?
Because you know what my true bottom line passion is, right? Like, is why living without habits fixes everything. But in the name of everything we've been talking about today, I have a rapid results series, live for yourself first. And with that, for everybody that's here, I would be willing to give a 20% coupon code, which I don't have prepared at the moment because I didn't know I was going to get to do that. But a 20% off coupon code for you guys. And this is, really to take you into all of that core foundational work, because I have watched so many people burn out and fall prey to all of these, negative attachments, things that I refer to as addictions and emotional distresses that really ultimately, crumble their personal esteem, their personal lives, and their ability to be as effective as they desire. So, when I see people, motivated people, jump into a life improvement journey with their pure aspirations, but they're doing so without a clear path, a clear walk. It's just it burdens my heart. So anyway, I do have my rapid results series that is a highly insightful transformation and has transformed a lot of professional people in my internal work. So anyway, you can read about it. I'll drop the link. My hashtag, what would my hashtag be? Live for yourself first.
Okay, live for yourself first. Awesome. Any questions for Trisha? All right, Nathan.
You know, not a specific offer really. I'm still very new to this group, but what I was thinking about, I'll just put my details in the chat, but it would just be a free half-hour consultation with me to do with recovering from narcissism. But my specialty in this, which is very different from pretty much everybody else I've seen, is helping a person break the bond with the narcissistic ex. I have access to a book which helps with that, and it's very, very specific because, in my opinion, if you're going to recover from narcissistic abuse, the number one, and we'll assume that the person was in a romantic relationship, not business, then the number one thing you have to do is break that bond with your abuser.
Okay, I think everyone's frozen. I think I might have lost internet.